Hello guys, how are you? I hope you all are doing good. So today we are gonna interpret J. Locke. So today we are gonna interpret John Locke. His time period is 1632 AD to 1704 AD. He belongs to the Britain. He belongs to Britain. He is known as the father of liberalism. Father of liberalism. Political liberalism is a theory. His theory of liberalism is of the limited state. Means the state will be there, but it will be limited in the manner. He has given the theory of rights, which are inspired by the customary rights, customary rights and legal rights and natural right, natural right. Locke is a scholar of he is a scholar of capitalist class. He is also known as the scholar of possessive individualism. Possessive individualism means that whatever the man possesses is belongs to him. He justifies this. Locke now look into his various. He has also given the various theories. His various theories are separation of power, separation of power, principle of toleration, principle of toleration, and next representative democracy. Representative democracy. We will look into it in upcoming sessions. Now, what are his major work? His major work is on the civil government. Is on civil government, and its first content or first treatise are first first look into the he was contemporary of Hobbes. It is said that he want to they saying in the time period that he want to challenge his absolute state, as Hobbes has given the absolute state, that the absolute power was given to the state. But Hobbes was the controversial figure. He, his books was banned by the church. So Sherlock smartly avoided to counter him, and he countered Filmer. Filmer's book Patriarch. The Filmer's book Patriarch is also justifying the absolute authority of the state while giving the various reasons. He doesn't want social contract. He has given the absolute power to the king's estate, basically, not to the government, but the king. Now we will look more into it. Filmer's theory was criticized on two grounds. First was, it is not a logical, his theory is not logical theory, not logical theory of the authority of a state, of the absolute authority of the state. If authority of the state is based on the will of the man, it is illogical to accept the future generations to accept it as it is. Means like just take a knife example and the simple example that your father come into the contract that my coming period will serve the Ambanis, particularly not the Adanis. They will work for them, and but it will be the most injustice thing that you don't want to follow that your father's contract that he has given to the Ambanis, so that you want to start your own business. You don't want to work for them. So that was some simple example, but it can be much more greater. But for the time being, I just have this example. With respect to right to property, he says, with respect to right to property, right to property, heredity should be good. Heredity should be good rather than contract. What was the famous view? Filmer views was a state is a patriarch. A state is a patriarch. Patriarch. Since which means big family of God. Big family of God. He says Adam was the first king. Adam was the first king who was the son of God, and all the successive kings are directly related to the Adam, and it is the will of the God, the king higher. Adam and king are related, and it is the God's authority. So they are having the absolute authority, and they can't be challenged. Filmer supported patriarch basis of authority, since patriarch authority is absolute. Patriarch authority is absolute. Authority is absolute. Is absolute. Political authority is analogous to paternal authority. Is analogous to paternal authority. He related this authority with the father's authority. He says, like the father have the whole control on family, the same as the state is the big family of God. So the king is the fatherly figure, and the family. So he is the head of the family, and all should abide to him. Should abide to him. Now look for his criticism. Locke's criticism of Filmer. He rejects the authority. He rejects his theory that the state is created by God. That the state is created by God. By God. He says that even if we believe the Adam's theory that the Adam was the first king, and the successive kings are the son of Adam. So as the time has gone so long, it is hard to find who was the real king. It is hard to find who was the real successor. Who was the real successor? There are more troubles. So he suggests rather for looking for a king, look for the state. Look for the state. Look for the state authority. Locke also rejected his absolute authority to state, absolute authority to state in the name of father, king. He says in family he says that the state is a family of families. The family of families means in a state there are various families which constitute the state, and the father authority have the authority on their kids because they are dependent on him, because they are dependent on him. But it is not the same case with a king, as the king is a greater figure and the citizens are adult and they are themselves capable to take their decision as they are working independently. Citizens need a state for few things, not for all, not for all. In the second book, he has given the theory of social contract. In Locke's views, we can see that the every thinker is the child of his own time, because he developed the every thinking that the what was happening in his surrounding. We can see the impact of his times in the human nature, as he has seen the glorious revolution, which was peaceful, revolution. I think you know about this glorious revolution. It is the transition of King James giving his authority to the Mary II and his husband. You can look into detail in the history lectures of yours. This is not much, but just you know that the during his period was the glorious revolution. So it was the great impact on him as compared to the Hobbes. Hobbes has seen the threat of life, so his views are different as compared to the John Locke. What are the characteristics of human nature? Locke's, Locke understands that the human are the enlightened person, but it is self-centric. According to him, man is self-centered. It does not mean that it is capable of taking care of interest of other. It is self-centric, but it doesn't mean that it don't but it doesn't mean that it doesn't take care of others interest. In man, he considers that in man reason and passion are present in balanced form. In the words of Locke, we would say that the reason in man guides him not to harm others and not to harm others in his life, in his life, liberty, liberty, health, and property. He considers that the man is rational enough to understand that if he respects life, liberty, property of others, other person will other person will also respect him. Will also respect him. Basically, he is taking the progressive view of human nature. He is not taking the pessimistic view that if they will be the other humans are bad or something like that. A state of nature. A state of nature where in Hobbes that the state of nature is the state of war because man doesn't have sufficient reason. Hobbes' state was the state of war. A state of nature was the state of war. But Locke, the state of nature is of peace because man has the sufficient reason for not harming others. In it, the man lack reason. Now we'll look for some sort of short comparison, between Locke and Hobbes. Hobbes and Locke. Hobbes' man is dominated by passion. It lacks reason, but in Locke it is in balance, both passion and reason. Locke human was a state of nature is a state of war. His state of nature is a state of war, and Locke it is a state of peace. A state of nature is a state of peace. Hobbes considered that there is no right in a state of nature, but in Locke there is natural right which will be respected by all to all. He believed in positive law. Positive law are the legislative law, means which derive their power from the legislation, and Locke believes in the natural law. Natural law. Reason of contract in Locke. What was the reason in Locke to come in the contract? As he was saying that the state of nature is good and everything, but why he didn't want a man to come into the contract? He says that though state of nature is the state of peace and goodwill, but it is rational to leave everything on man. He considers some sort of security. He wanna go for some sort of security or insurance because, as he says, that in human they have reason and passion too. So that in some human that the passion should not dominate. So he wants to impose some security for it. That's why the man will come into the contract. But he also says that there is no need to give absolute power to state. He also says that there are certain inconvenience in a state of nature, in a state of nature, nature of in the state of nature that there is no common authority to make law, execute law, and adjudicate law. In the state of nature, common authority was absent, hence everyone was interpreting, as there was not common authority, so everyone was interpreting the law according to their need, law according to their need. Like for some person that killing killing someone that he was thinking that let's take a new example, that there are two person, they have the furious rivalry between them, and somehow first person get to know that the second person gonna kill him, so he decided to kill him before he kills him. So first person kill second person, but in the court of law he says it is justice that killing the second person, because if he doesn't kill him, so he is gonna kill him. So this interpretation can't be true, as he has interpreted the law according to his needs. He also says that considering considering a murderer, considering a criminal as advocate in his law, in his crime, is foolishness. Is foolishness. To remove these inconvenience and to maintain the peace and goodwill, goodwill, the man should enter into the contract contract to have a common authority, to have a common authority who can who can make law and adjudicate adjudicate them. So in next upcoming lecture we will look for his Locke's contract. What was what he wants in his contract, what are his conditions to come into the contract. So for the time being, bye.